Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Talking About the Big Stuff podcast with Michael Cole and Matthew Cravat. I am Michael Cole.
And I am Matthew Cravat.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. Today we have a special guest, Lisa question mark. We'll just call you Lisa question mark for the episode.
Because you can't remember.
She's the artist formerly known as Lisa.
I told you that in confidence, Matthew.
Lisa minus the Colt Jam. It's so sad.
Yeah, and Lisa
only
is going
one
to be
Lisa,
talking,
not even Lisa.
Or I don't. And
you're right.
Okay.
See, here's the first,
I know Lisa. I know
the first reference point. But they're in their 40s. They won't get any of our references, Lisa.
No, likely not. Sorry, old man.
I've definitely heard of Lisa. I just can't think of what the reference is. Anyway,
I saw her live.
Classic
baby.
80s
Nice.
Lisa. You saw her live, Lisa and the Colt Jam. So I don't even have the Lisa. I'm just Lisa. Like just Shaq. Okay,
before we fully dive in, though, I do want to say to everybody that's watching right now, please like and subscribe. I'll get to that at the end of the episode as well. But right now is a great time, if you haven't already, to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, you comment in the video, or if you're watching live, in the chat. And yeah, that's all the good things you can do for us at the beginning. We'll talk about Patreon at the end of the video. All right. And with that, Matthew, I'm going to let you lead things, since you kind of set things up, and you can kind of do a better introduction of Lisa than I did and get us really started now.
So Lisa and I have been friends for, nigh on to 25, 26 years now. Forever. We did improv together. Lisa showed up bedraggled and wet and like as a little orphan at our improv workshops, but with more natural talent than anyone else in the group. So it was like after 2 workshops, okay, you're in the troupe. You're there.
Pitter pat. You're so kind.
So we performed comedy together for years and years and years. And it's one of those friendships where we don't talk for a year and then we run into each other and we don't stop talking for a year straight without taking a breath. So we were out the other night, my wife and I and Lisa, at a local wine bar. And over a glass of wine, Lisa started telling us some of her dating woes, being in your 50s and trying to date. And we laughed at her problems so much that we were this needs to be aired. The world needs to laugh at Lisa.
It was a very
hurtful to have her on
session
to talk
with my
about
friends.
This.
Matthew said, don't vent to us. Come on my podcast and get us better ratings.
Vent to the world.
Vent to the
so
world
much
for
to
our
say.
benefit.
So hi,
and of course,
Lisa. This is
because I'm low
Mike
tech,
and Alex.
I have a text popping up on my phone. I'm like, go away. Hello, world.
Oh, she's poking us. She's poking at us.
I know. This is my 15 minutes of fame, baby. Yeah, I don't know. Where do you want? Well, we started before this, so when do we want to pick back up? For those who are just joining.
Well, we could talk about the funny stuff, since Alex was getting into the deep. If you want to talk about the deep stuff, I'm fine with that as well. Whatever you want. But Alex was going deep, and Matthew is planning on going funny. So
we can
talk
funny
about
and circle
life
back
and the pursuit of happiness. But let's start out with I'm going to start you out, Lisa, with an offer.
Yes.
Even though this is not chronologically correct, this is just a place to set the tone. Let's talk about lip biting.
Alrighty. So after my 6-year destroyed by COVID relationship ended, took a minute, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'm ready to go on a date. And so someone that I knew through a past employer asked me to grab coffee. And, so many people had left my company. We had layoffs. We had people leave, all this stuff that, men, women alike, married, not married, they'd be like, oh, we should keep up. Let's grab coffee. Let's grab lunch, which I did with many different people. So I didn't really think about it. I just thought it was a quick coffee. So it turns out that this was actually a date. And I was like, oh, am I that thick? And apparently I am. So I'm like, all right, well, nice person, age appropriate, professional, seemed to have, could use his words for the most part, not as extroverted as me, but who cares? You don't have to be a carbon copy. So I kind of very tentatively was like, all right, dip your toe. I blame my friend Pam. So now I'm always like, damn it, Pam. Pam's like, it's, you're not marrying the guy, just go on a date, like dip your toes, see how you feel. So I'm like, I listened to Pam, And I went and I was like, okay,
Fucking Pam.
Fucking Pam. So, seemed like a nice person. And I started calming down. I'm like, okay. So he's like, well, would you want to do dinner sometime? I'm like, okay, I'm going to be bold. Date 2. So he even put thought into this with what we did. Like, I was like, wow, he planned an evening. That's very lovely. Knew I like music, whatever. So, we get back to my house and it's late because we did kind of a show and then a drink after, whatever. And we've said our goodbyes and I've hugged him goodbye. And I was kind of clear, actually. I try to be pretty honest. I was just like, not sure how I feel about this. Are you cool if we just end up being friends? Like, I was just direct. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I felt like I set the tone, like, I'm just feeling this out, like, just slow your roll. I don't think he got the memo. So I leaned down to get my purse and it comes to me in flashes. I look obviously and I'm about to say, okay, well, good night. And it was like a succubus, like right to my face. And I'm like, whoa, what's happening? So, it's been a minute since somebody kissed me. So I was like, all right, just go with it. See if there's any chemistry, whatever. Almost immediately into this kiss. I'm like, why does this hurt? We're in our 50s. Kissing should not be painful. I know this, right? So I'm kind of like, what's happening? So I'm trying to Matthew, you know me, like all this is happening like this. So many thoughts in my little head, right? So I'm just like, oh shit, he's kissing me. Oh crap, this hurts. Do I want to do this? Why is this hurting? And then I'm trying to kind of get away, recorrect, like what's happening. And then I feel this graze and I'm like, okay, now we're touching me. And then no sooner I'm like, what is happening with that? Then like freaking Go-Go Gadget, cartoon even before my time, for those who don't know, had the arm that went out and back like on a spring. So freaking Go-Go Gadget. And like, we're in a car. We need a visual for this. I wish you were. So he's next to me, tiny car. He had to like turn his hand like this, like backwards, like awkwardly. And before I know it, while my lip is being sucked off my face, I get a hand down the blouse, under the camisole, under the bra, and a grab. We're not talking gentle caressing people. We're talking a boob grab that was just like, hello. So I'm just like, whoa, like everything's happening. So I'm like, whoa, you're kissing me. My lip hurts. You're touching me. You're grabbing things. Like, I get away from this guy. The first freaking thing I say is, well, that was unexpected, with that exact tone. Again, read the room, dude. Read the car. And what did
you
he
had
say
just
to me?
said you wanted to be friends, and then he did that?
Before we went out, I was just like, I'm not sure, this may just be a friendship for me.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to be.
Okay.
So it was just so bizarre. He was totally clueless. Like, I actually think if you asked him today, did that happen? He'd be like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. He was just so like, I don't know what was happening with the guy. I think he was a little pent up. And so when a woman looks at you and goes like this, that was unexpected. The room again. And he looks at me with his accent. He's like, oh, you're such a good kisser. And I'm thinking, we can swear, right? How the fuck would you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
literally, if somebody is doing this with like the suction of 12 men, how am I kissing you? Like,
12
skill level, because I brought to the table. Like, you're sucking my face off, dude. It's like we're 16 and it's the first kiss and you're fumbling in a car. It was so bizarre. I couldn't get out of the car fast enough. So the next thing I say, because I instantly feel my lip getting fat, like the minute he pulled away from me, I was like, are you kidding me? My lip's starting to puff up. And so the next thing I say is, I swear to God, if I have a lip hickey, a phrase I have never said in my life. I've never said lip hickey in my 56 years. I'm like, I don't even know where that came from. And he's like, oh, you do not have a lip hickey. And I'm like, I don't even know what I said. I couldn't get out of the car fast enough. It was so bizarre. So he's now named.
Lip hickey's the kid from Jerry Maguire.
Oh my God. It was, and I kind of felt like, this is what the gods throw me. Really? Like, I get out of a 6-year relationship. I hadn't gone on a date in like a year. And I'm like, I'm going to be brave. Surely he's an adult person, professional. We even do background checks at this company. Like, I know he's not even an axe murderer, right? So 2 thumbs up. And I'm like, low level accosted in this man's car. And I'm like, is this dating? Is this dating now? Because no, not proved, but no.
Are we dating? I like that. Are we dating now? No.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? It was so bizarre. I was just like, Okay. So I walk in my house, I have my coat on, and to myself out loud, I go, what the fuck was that? And then without even looking in the mirror, because I can feel the fatness, I go get an ice cube and I stand in the kitchen in my coat, like just like with this stupid ice to my lip. And I get ready for bed and I look in the mirror and my lip is like turning purpley blue, like it's visibly bruised and fat.
Ooh,
So then I'm at work for like
no.
3 days. I'm wearing lipstick, which I normally don't wear. And when people would come up to my office, I'd be like, hey, yeah, sure. What's up? Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'm like trying to cover my face. I'm like, you are 50 freaking 7 years old, dude. What the hell was that? So yeah, that was a good time. So these are my dating experiences.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
so Lisa told us some of this the other night, and
I mean,
all I can think
what?
is,
What?
I'm not a fan of molesting someone in their car without permission,
Kind of rude.
but I'm low key impressed that in a split second he got his hand under 3 layers.
Oh, it was impressive.
And across a center of a car.
Because I mean, like if you're coming at somebody with like he literally had his hand naturally, he had to like turn it like this unnaturally. It wasn't like you could just it was like he had to like twist. And I'm thinking that is an impressive maneuver, dude. You got to really be wanting to get to something.
You've either practiced or you've never been
Yes.
able to try to make
Yes.
out with someone not in your mom's basement.
or
Yes,
you're
and
like,
then-
this isn't going to last long, so I need
Yeah.
to get as far as possible in
like-
the 30 seconds or less that I have.
It was just
But
bizarre.
that's what happens
and
when
then
you
like
do all your training on second base and you don't know actually how to kiss. Like
No.
he skipped first base.
Ah.
But I was just like, if that is the level of aggression you're coming at my poor little girls here, Lord knows what else would happen to me if anything went further. Like, massive
Lisa's
injuries.
mangoes got bruised, guys.
Oh my God, it was sad. And you know what really pissed me off? No swelling. My lip swelled. Does this swell? No, not at all. I couldn't even get a little extra
Well,
something out of that.
If he sucked
just
that
rude,
hard on
wrong.
your lips, I can only imagine what he could
Yeah,
have
I
done.
So
Well, you
yeah,
have to
and
set
then
up a timer to make sure you got equal treatment left and right.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
true,
you'd be
true.
off
well,
balance
yeah,
the rest of the
exactly.
day.
But like, if something's gonna swell, come on, like throw me a bone. So I ended up talking to him. I don't know. He wanted to go out again. That was a hard no. But know
I
people
bet you
in
he did.
common. Yeah. So we know people in common. So I was like, all right, just be a grown up. Like I'm not into this ghosting nonsense. Like just say no. So I said, you know what?
Yeah.
I just took the high road. I'm like, I appreciate that you put thought into our dates. It was nice to get to know you a little bit better, but I just feel like we're meant to be friends, right? Which is the truth. I just didn't need to go there, right? I didn't need any, what do you mean? Ugh. So he was so dumbfounded. This is what kills me, that he actually reached out to me later and asked me, oh, can I ask you this? I'm just wondering, am I intimidating? No, you're not fucking intimidating, dude. You're
Was it my cologne?
aggressive and borderline like assaulting me. Like what am I
it's
too
fantastic.
intimidating?
Poor
I'm
guy.
like, what the hell? It was so
God.
bizarre.
Hardly.
I'm like, no, you're not intimidating,
Oh,
dude.
boy.
You're just like all kinds of wrong. But it was
You're like,
very
I'm not trying to
strange.
flatter you, buddy. But no.
No, it was very strange. But like none of it matched up. That's what was so confusing because he oh, I forgot to tell you this. He opened doors. He actually earlier that night after we came out of dinner asked if he could hug me. So you asked permission to hug me,
Oh.
but then I guess that gave you license to fucking suck my lip off and grab me. I'm like, is this dating now? This is a little confuzzling.
No.
It was so
I can
bizarre.
confirm no.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've
mean,
been single, but I will say about
Thank you.
myself, I
Yeah.
was always an awkward guy, and I'd ask for, I'd be like, "Oh, can I give you a hug? Can I give you a kiss?"
Yeah.
And then once the kiss was initiated, I was very like, I don't think I ever overstepped, but it was very often like kiss to sex in like under 10 minutes, but I'd be like, "May I kiss you?" And then it would be that.
Yeah. I'm like, what is happening?
They're special breed.
I mean, it's funny, but it's also not. I'm like, well, that was unpleasant. What the hell? So that was my introduction into dating in my 50s. I was like, oh, we're batting 1,000. This is gonna be great. And then it's just kind of
We're already there. Yep.
yeah, and it's just weird things like I can't remember what I told you, Matthew, but I was downtown and this guy kind of cornered me, and I didn't want to be rude. I've like, you see the same people out. It's not that hard. It's not a big town that I live in. So, and I think he's part of this like meetup group that I've met people from before. Like, so, friendly. So he's with his buddy, and you could tell, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, you could tell he thought out of the two, he was the one that was all that. Okay. If I was going to pick, I would have picked the other guy. And so the other guy was pretty heavy set, but like seemed like a nice dude, right? And this other guy, he thought, because I think he was the slimmer whenever, he was all that in a bag of chips. He kind of reminded me of one of the guys from The Sopranos that like would whack you in appearance, but like whatever, all shapes and sizes, you just have to be a nice person and have a sense of humor, right? And so he's trying to chat me up, and I don't want to be rude. And I'm like, oh, well, nice talking to you. I need to, pop over to my girlfriends I'm hanging with. And I'm like, again, how old are we? He actually says to me, well, where's your boyfriend tonight? I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Like, and again, I have a question to you, lovely gentlemen. Can you not just say to a woman, I'd love to, get together sometime, or, grab a drink sometime if you're not seeing anybody, or like anything, but like, you got to go to like, again, like, how old are we? Like, where's your boyfriend tonight? I'm like, yeah, like, it's just weirdness. I don't get it. Like, is it that hard to talk to us? Like, I don't think I'm that intimidating. Like, you can use your words and just say, hey, would you like to grab a drink? Like, it's just strangest. I don't know. Do I just attract just odd situations? I don't get it.
I no, but I would believe that there is.
I don't get it.
For every woman that seems to not understand why men act like a dope, there's just as many men who have no experience, and that's why they act like a dope.
Maybe that's
so
it.
For as many times as you think it's happened, is for as many men as there are out there that will act in this manner.
Yeah, I think
and
you're
I can believe that as you get older, your skills don't change, evolve, or improve. So maybe the last time that individual was chatting up a woman was in his 20s.
Maybe. That's actually a very good point. That makes me feel better. I don't know. I guess I just kind of thought in our 50s we would have evolved a little bit. Just a tad.
I mean, you also have to keep in mind that men, and this might be specifically towards men that are younger than us, I don't know, but men take advice from the worst possible people. Instead of taking advice from married people, they're like, oh, this single guy is going to tell me how to get a wife. And you're like,
absolutely believe that.
If you can take that advice, if that's how you look for advice, you're probably not good at getting good advice.
You're hanging out with single serial daters in their 50s.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're going to get
maybe that's it.
So
then I ask you this.
So I've got
oh, go ahead.
I'll give you the problem and a solution, a possible solution for you. So you got a problem that at our age, if someone is single, you got to wonder why, right? And there's good reasons. Recently divorced, recently ended a big thing, or just is such a fuck up that can never be in a relationship. And so there's more of those in the pool percentage wise than when you were 20.
Well,
there's more
widowers.
Right. So the solution is hang out at cemeteries and funeral homes and try to clock the recent widowers
and find out why they're widowers. That's an important step.
Yeah. Did they
make sure there's no news articles about it.
This is the second day in a row I've given that advice, by the way.
Yeah.
But then you follow
that movie,
make note and say, come circle back in 6 months,
Yeah.
When you've grieved and you just want someone to see
grief support groups.
Sometimes I feel like I should just like start targeting.
Pretend that Tim just died and go to these grief support groups.
Yeah. You're like, my wife, if they say my wife had cancer, might be a winner. If they say my wife disappeared suddenly, stay away.
Yeah.
My wife fell down the steps a few times. That's a bad thing.
Yeah. She was very clumsy. Yeah. Or died in any type of poisoning situation. Yeah.
She drowned in the backyard.
She drowned.
Odd though. Because even the guys that people will be like, oh, he's really nice. Like, I call this guy the petter. I was at, and I don't even go out that often, but I went out and I'm just sitting at the bar with a girlfriend of mine. We just decided to have a drink after dinner. Um, and this is a place where there's like kind of a larger bar and then a tinier one. And so I'm minding my own business. And she just happened to start talking to somebody next to her. And then, the three of us talk, the bartender, we would all just kind of talk. So she just happened to be saying something to this person and I was not engaged in speech. So this guy just comes up to me, introduces himself, and I'm like, okay, give him points for saying hi. And he commented, "Oh, I like your curly hair." Okay, I get that a lot. It's I get it. It's an icebreaker. It's a compliment. That's nothing wrong with that. Like, because I'm a curly girl. So I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. Is it natural?" "Oh, yes, it is." In the typical combo. Fine, no problem with that. But then he proceeds to like walk away, come back every time he wants a drink, and I mean, it's only like 9:30 when we first got there. So within like an hour's time frame, he's getting steadily more loaded. And I'm noticing that every time he comes in, he comments about my hair. And I'm thinking, we've covered that territory. So I just staple at him, "Oh, thank you." Same conversation.
I like that. We've been here.
Yeah, we've been here. And then like, there's music playing on this side. He's like grabbing my hand and trying to get me to go, because I'm standing at this point. And I might have dared to like, sway to the beat, as I'm talking to my friends.
Uh-oh.
And so he grabs my hand and he tries to get me to go to the other side to where the band is to dance. I'm like, "Oh, no, thanks. I'm good. I'm not really feeling like dancing. I'm just talking to my girlfriend, so I get away from that. And then he tells me, "Oh, I just live up the street. I heard that you live here too." I'm like, "Yes." Because he heard me talking to the bar and he's like, "You should come home with me." I'm like,
"Oh, no.
Alrighty. I basically only have your name and that you like my hair 4 times." And then he just like reaches over and pets me. He just takes his hand and pushes my bangs back and pets my head like I'm a dog. And I'm like, alrighty, that just happened. And I don't even remember what I said to him. I was just kind of like, okay. Like, and I mean, I never got rude because, again, you get the spidey sense. Like, he didn't seem threatening or dangerous. He wasn't doing anything overtly sexual. Like the guy that I knew well that accosted me in the car. You would think the stranger would be more dangerous, stranger danger. We all learn about that as children. But like,
it was a
I'm
myth.
like, I just got like pet like a dog in a bar. So I'm telling this story to a girlfriend the next day. She's like, "What was his name again?" Which I can't even remember, truthfully. Let's just call him Bob. And she's like, "I think I know that guy." She's a realtor, so she knows everybody. So she pulls up Facebook. I'm like, yeah, right. Here's Pat. That's hilarious. So yeah, I am going to pat the petter. This is who he is now. So she's like, "Oh, he's actually a really nice guy." And I'm like, "Is he?" And the bartender said that to me too. I was like, "Do you know this guy?" Yeah. And because I said the bartender, "You know this guy?" He's like, "Yeah, he's actually like a really nice guy." I'm like, "Drunk much?" And he's like, "Yeah, a little bit." And I said the same thing to my friend. I'm like, "Is he a drinker?" She's like, "Yeah, he does tend to drink a lot." I'm like, so even the nice guys that, knew how to open a conversation, like, "Oh, I like your curly hair. That's a lovely thing to say. You're petting me and like pulling my arm to get me to dance with you." I'm like, "You're loaded by 10:15, 10:30 at night. That's a hard no, dude." It's just, I don't know. I haven't had good experiences in my 50s. And yet I'm not bitter towards love. Shocking. Anyway. But I will say, after all of this sharing, I do not want to sound like a man basher, because there's some crazy ass women out there. And so I feel like if we could just have a website where we pair the crazies up and then like the not crazies up, that would be okay. But there's some women out there that, they're just kind of game players.
Oh.
And I mean, I gotta defend, I'm sure there's lovely men out there. Like, not every guy's evil. Not every guy is gonna, accost you or pet your freaking head. But, there's probably a whole pool of nice guys out there that just don't even want to walk up to anybody because they get these crazy women that are just game playing. I mean, I even have like a couple girlfriends who I love dearly as girlfriends, but I wouldn't want to date them because they're I'm going to do this because then he'll do that. Or I'm going to, if I do this, maybe. I'm like, oh God, how do you have space in your head to like plot it out like that? Just talk and see if you connect. And if you do, great. If you don't, walk away. Like, so in defense of the nice guys out there, which I'm sure there are, there's some crazy ass women too. And that would
Well,
make me
I think
gun
Three-
shy to walk
Three
in front of
crazy
it.
ass women agreed to marry the three of us. So
Mhm.
This is very true.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
So-
have to also like be careful when someone says that gives a recommendation about someone, because like you might like Pat, mutual friend Pat says, "Oh, he's a
Yeah.
really nice guy." You have to ask that question: what makes him nice? Because the response would be,
Exactly.
"Oh, he pets you like a dog until you're
Yeah.
real comfortable, and when you
Yeah.
fall asleep, he
Until
rubs
you're
your
comfortable.
tummy."
What? Wow.
You know?
Yeah, right.
So maybe like their reason
So,
for
yeah.
saying he's nice might not line up with what
I
you're
don't
looking
know.
for.
well, also
But,
I also think
you
that
don't
like
think you should
there
have
are
to ask,
people.
oh, is he? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say when it comes to drunk, there are
Yeah.
this is a personal thing because I know that as somebody who doesn't really get drunk very often, drunks don't like me. But I will hang out with people.
Mike, nobody
and-
likes you.
No.
I'm just-
Hurtful
they
words,
especially
Matthew.
don't like me.
Drunks don't like you
Uh,
either.
They
Go
don't
in
like
the
me
corner,
either.
Matthew,
But
and
I
think
will
about
be.
what you
I'll
just
be
said.
hanging out with. I'll be hanging out with my my wife and her friends or my friends and there's always a drunk who's like they're like he's the life of the party, she's the life of the party. I'm like, they're an asshole when they're
Yeah.
shit faced, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, they're fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you're also
No.
shit faced.
Because you're also
Right.
the
yeah.
time.
Exactly.
And like they're just kind of an asshole that seems fun, and part of that I think I've aged out of that in the last 10 years because I don't go to those things anymore. But like I think that there is that sense of like what you are to one person is not what you are to everybody else necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like
It's
someone
unfortunate.
recommends them, oh yeah, they're a nice person. It's like, yeah, they're nice because I know them from work or I know them in this one specific
Mhm.
context
Right.
that
Also, I
doesn't
think-
involve me getting dragged on the dance floor.
Literally,
Right.
the first time that Mike and I met outside of work, because Mike worked for me, that's how we met. I almost beat him to death with a crowbar.
oh. And yet
For
here you
sketch.
are in man
And
love.
recovered.
I don't know. It's
So
interesting
that's,
because
that's where that like attracts like comes in for me. So if you are mixing with the people who are in their 50s, in their 60s, who are widowers, not with a partner, divorced, what have you, and their identity is on the weekends, I act like I'm 40 again. If that's not your scene, you're not going to find a compatible person there. It's just not going to happen.
yeah.
Do I say look
And
at the
that- so-
library either? No. Am I going to say go to a funeral home like Mike did? No. But
Yeah,
Matt's
Mike.
like, yes.
something.
that's the
Right.
issue,
Fine.
Because, like, all anybody ever does is they, oh, let's go out, get dinner and get drinks and then go to a bar and get drinks. And I'm like, okay, like I'm a music person, I would much prefer going to an event. I don't have a problem with drinking. I'll hang out in a bar, whatever. I'll grab dinner, but usually I try to find somewhere that has music. So it's like, at least you're with people that maybe you're
Yeah.
into music, have some kind of like something or other. But it does get hard. It's
Yes.
like, okay, so if you just run in, like, I don't even go to bars that often and I'm still seeing the same people. So it's like, okay, these are regulars. Some of them, I dare say, barflies. So it's like, so that's not working. But so, when you're younger and if you have kids, I would just kind of, even girlfriends, it's even harder just to make friends as a single person because everybody's kind of married off and you're not kind of, having that easy peasy, you've been brought together by little Johnny's soccer or, Sarah Sue's, art class or volleyball or whatever, or so it does get a little more narrow, like the venues and the instances and types of events you find yourself at to just meet anybody. Forget dating, just like, oh, hey, you seem nice. You want to, let's hang, like just girlfriends. So it's the pool. It's like that movie, This Is 40. Do you remember that movie? And she has a freak out in the bar. I wish we had a clip and could play it. She freaks out in the bar and she's just talking about how, like, in your 20s, the pool is everybody. And then you get to this age.
Mike,
and
Mike is noting the
younger.
timestamp so he can put a clip in later.
I just marked it.
Yes, please find that when she's in the bar and she just goes off. Is it Leslie Mann? She's just like, you have the pool in your 20s with everyone. Now it's just a sad, shallow pool. And she goes on and on. And that's kind of the case. It's just this sad, shallow pool of weirdness often. And nobody wants to dip your toes in that pool for much more than a second because you get your lips sucked off or you get pet. And no. That's a hard
Groped
no.
aggressively.
Yes. Yes.
And there's so many people
Yes.
peeing in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah. You know,
This
it's
is
only
our
now,
rule.
speaking of peeing in a
Notice there's
pool,
no
that I
pee in
think
it.
about how much pee must have been in the pools when we were in the pools with our little children. And now I'm just like, ew, I don't want to go in there. That's gross.
That's why our skin was so soft back then.
I know, we were soft and supple and like
Uric
a little bit of a
acid.
yellow tint. Just kind of pretty, you know? So yeah,
We
I'm
thought it
not
was a
jaundiced.
tan.
I've just been
We
swimming
were
with my
wrong.
children and pee. But
Fun
yeah,
fact.
so I don't know. I mean,
that
what to do.
the reason why chlorine smells like chlorine smells is not because there is a chlorine smell, but because that's the smell of it interacting with urea. Not necessarily
Urea,
urine.
yeah.
Sweat can do it too, because sweat has
Oh.
urea in it as well.
I think
That's
you
why
just,
when you
that's
smell
it.
strong chlorine smell.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's not because they
So
just
what you're
blasted
saying
it too
is-
much. I don't think I'm ever going
So
to the pool
don't meet
again.
guys
Thank you,
at the
Mike.
pool. That's important.
No.
Right. So don't meet guys at the pool.
Although that is how I met the 6-year guy, lovely human,
Oh,
and I was just at the pool one day, and there was like just a few of us there, and we all got trapped in a
So-
storm,
so yeah,
and then
so-
we just started talking, like actual conversation.
so I was mentioning the idea that you were saying, oh, your mother-in-law being with someone is different because sometimes it'd be nice to have someone. You made a decision in that long-term relationship that there were fundamental pieces that were not going to be compatible. That's still knowing yourself. I was not ever going to be a
Yeah.
successful partner until I really knew myself well. And that's what I believe makes me a successful uncle, a great husband, like that kind of stuff. So knowing who you are not going to compromise for and with is part of dating too. Because
Yes,
dating is
definitely.
like early childhood. The two of you don't know anything about each other, and only what's in that one little like interaction is all you know of each other, whether it's
Right.
Pat the Petter, gropey Inspector
Love that.
Gadget, or drunk friend. You know all these people are not going to jive. Thank God they showed you
Yeah.
that first.
That's the thing. At least give them credit for like first, second, shot out of the gate. I'm like, I know who you are, and we are not going to be playing
Yeah.
again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Godspeed. Go forth and be happy.
Right.
But yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know. It is a little frustrating though, because I don't really think I'm asking for a lot. Like I think as a single female in this age, especially, if you are looking for someone to save you, not a good A plan. Like my A plan needs to be, I'm going to potentially be single for the duration, and I need to be able to take care of myself and financially handle my business and, take care of my health, all those things, right? But if you're looking to be saved, which I do think, unfortunately, a lot of people are kind of hoping for that, like this person will make me happy. And I mean, yes, like on some level, would I probably feel a little happier if I had a person in my life? Yeah, because it sucks to come home and be like, well, this is a very boring night and none of my friends are around and I do not feel like watching TV. And how many walks can you go on? And I've read that book for 4 hours. Like, sometimes you just, there would be a little extra, you have my person,
Yeah.
But,
So,
but yeah, it
so
can't be
Lisa,
your A game that somebody's going to make you happy,
Lisa, you remember Mikey's little daughter, Samantha?
Mm-hmm. She's probably not
She's
little
in
anymore.
the chat, and she's like, as a mother of a 6-year-old and an 11-year-old, I would love to come home to an empty house just once.
Oh yeah, totally. It sounds fabulous until it happens more often than just a break. And then you're like, well, shit, this is very quiet, But I totally get that. I mean, I was a single parent for years, and my ex-husband moved away when my kids were like, I think when my youngest was 10, I don't even remember. And I don't have any family here. So, I mean, it's hard.
That's
And
good
you
that he
do
moved away,
wish-
that we never liked him.
He said it. But having a minute to yourself is like gold especially when you've got younger or even mid-range kids. It's exhausting. But when you get to this age and stage, it's kind of like, well, I just literally I've been raising kids for 24 years. Like they are launching, one's launched, one's about to launch. and everybody's like, oh, this, if I hear season of your life one more time, here's your season. Stop using that phrase. It makes me feel old. But, the season, it's about rediscovering yourself and doing what you want. And I'm like, yeah, I get that to a point, because you aren't mommy, mommy, mommy all the time. And you don't have to drive everyone everywhere and figure out what everybody's going to eat and do everybody's loads of laundry and clean everything. They're either launched or helping, right? But you have this pool of time. You're like, okay, now I want to have like fun, right? Like retire and have fun with somebody. And, it gets harder. It's not like it has to be your person. Like, you can go on trips with girlfriends or whatever, but most of my friends are married, some not, but you don't have your travel buddy. You don't have your, it's just like that built-in person. It is a little, a little bit of a bummer sometimes. But again, I go back
You got to find
I'm not compromising on certain things,
No.
I actually like my kids. They're not assholes. So it's always surprising to me when I hear people at this age that their kids are finally moving out. We're like, oh God, I can't wait for them to move out. I'm like, I'm not a helicopter mom. Like, yes, it's good to have some privacy if I ever did date. Shocker. But I like them. So I wasn't like, oh God, 6 more months and your ass is out of here. Thank God. Like, that's kind of weird. But I don't know.
And in the weird small world, my son is temporarily working with Lisa's daughter. I mean,
isn't that bizarre?
He's stationed in a different place than normal for a couple of months, and it's with her. So that they have just started hanging out. And,
so I was like, so we were both like, tell each other each other's parents. We were totally orchestrating that. It was fabulous. But then they didn't even need us. They'd already met, I think, and figured it out. But I don't know, guys. All I'm asking is, if this streak of bad dating luck continues, can you just like start a calendar and check on me? Because if you don't hear from me for a few days, just do like a wellness check on me. Is she in there? Is she okay?
As we're looking for our next Airbnb, there's an Airbnb like right near, like next door to Lisa's house, and we were like, maybe we can get that one so we can keep tabs on her.
I was so pissed that we couldn't get that for you guys while you need one for a bit, because I was like, oh my God, we'll be the obnoxious people in the neighborhood.
At the front
like,
window with the flashlight.
Yeah.
She's getting her lips sucked off again.
I know. Excuse me, sir. Deploy. Yes, exactly. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just need to tell you and Madhavi whenever I'm going on a date. And if you don't hear from me by this time, just bust in, baby.
Actually, tell us where you're going, and we'll be at the next table.
It's so entertaining. Chaperone.
So entertaining.
And if he says something real weird, Matthew can just lean over and be like, I'm sorry, did you just say to your date?
Yeah. Or if the groping starts.
That she has curly hair for the 9th time.
Yeah.
Is that your fourth
next week on Secret Chaperone?
I know.
That would kind of be an awesome reality show.
So I have a question for you guys. If you found yourself single at your age, because we're 40s to 50s here, right? Would you ever get married again? You think
it depends on how I got single. If after 40 years with Madhavi, if we couldn't make it work, it would be insane to think I could make it work with someone else after 40 years.
Fair.
With her.
That's fair.
If I failed at that. Now, if she, decided that it was time to transcend this mortal coil, and she was airlifted up to the Ganges River, the land of milk and honey, that's different. Then I'd be knocking at your door saying, "Take me in. I'm all alone. I'm so lonely." But
I'll be the little spoon or the big spoon.
If she couldn't, if she couldn't live with me anymore because I'm a miserable piece of shit, I wouldn't expect anyone else to be able to.
And on the flip side,
my
I would
answer
like her to
is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, on the flip side of what you said, please do let her know that if you perhaps wander, float up to wherever, I'll be the big spoon, little spoon to her too, because she's just so lovely. I've never gone that direction, but I feel like Madhavi and I could live out our years together. Just a little snuggle. That's all. That's all I need.
Yeah, I know what I'm dreaming about tonight. Thanks.
Yeah. And
so
time.
for me, I don't know. About getting married again. If I was single all of a sudden, I will say that I like marriage. I did not love the wedding planning process, not because Sarah was a problem, but because her friends and like the other women who are nosy were a pain in the ass for.
Yeah, you
and,
gotta elope.
and so like this was not one of my finest moments, but on the night of our wedding, while we were having one of our last couple dances of the night, I said to her, you should feel really lucky because I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
And I said,
Right.
and then she goes, really? And I said, well, I guess if she was like really, really hot, I would consider going through a big wedding again. But
You are.
And really, really
Funny,
well.
You're-
but now almost 12 years into marriage, I will say that like
I'm ready for another wedding.
I really like no, I'm not. I really like being married, but that's because I'm with the right person. So
Yeah.
again,
Exactly.
it's kind of similar to what Matthew said, whereas like it depends on how I became single again.
That's
If I would
true.
consider it, I think.
Yeah.
So it's funny
So
that Jeremy said the same thing at his divorce that you said at your wedding. And they finally signed the final divorce papers and walked out, he and his first wife. He said, I'm never doing this again.
That's
she
the
looked
better
up, she
place
goes-
to say it.
She goes, you're never going to get married again? He goes, no, I'm never going to marry a bitch like you, so I'll never get divorced again.
Maybe she deserved that comment.
Nice.
You never know. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny
She
because
did.
I have one
She
girlfriend that like really wants to get married again, and which I don't nothing wrong with that. But like I kind of fall where like never say never, right? If you really meet the right person, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like after
See, I
you've
think
been
marriage should be a
alone for a
last
while,
resort.
like marrying or even living with somebody, I'm like, oh God, could I do that again? Like, oof,
Well,
But you
I
just
think I
never
know the answer for you, but your friend that wants to get married again, does she want to get married again because she's wants a partner, or because like then this might be
That's what I was going to ask.
this might be a
Yep.
difference between women in their or people in their 20s versus people in
Yeah.
their 50s. But like I know when my wife and I were getting married, a lot of her friends wanted to get married, but they wanted to get married because they wanted a wedding, not because they wanted a marriage.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that's a thing that happens again too. Like,
I think that was
I
Jeremy's
couldn't
first
afford it
wedding.
when I was in my
so.
20s, or
I
I think that was
she
my brother's
said to
first
me
marriage.
she
His wife
really
wanted to
just,
get married, and they didn't belong together.
I think she just really liked being married, even though
okay,
it
that is
pretty
to me
far
that's the right
south, but-
answer.
yeah. So
Yeah.
See, to
I don't
me,
know.
the time to get married is when it's so my best friend in childhood said to me when he got engaged, he said, he called me up, he goes, Newton, it's terrible news. I'm like, what's wrong, man? He goes, I love her. I think I have to marry her.
oh no.
And that's, I think, the right attitude. It's like I'm
Yeah.
marrying them because I can't see living without them.
Yeah.
That's when the marriage is going to
Yeah.
work.
It's funny
Or
because
has a
like
chance
part of
of
me just
working.
like, oh, I don't know if I could do that again. But I think you're right because I'm looking at it through the lens of a marriage that went south and what I thought was my person forever and ever. Just man, COVID and vaccinations and just all the things, politics, like we couldn't have been further apart. It just got so hard to reconcile. And there was
Got
other things he
randomly
started
radicalized during COVID.
yeah, and started,
Yeah.
drinking, and it's like just some things that could not be worked out. These weren't petty things. Wonderful human being though. Like I could say a million lovely things about him. So no shade there, it just didn't work. But I kind of look at it like, oh man, I've got that like this didn't work 2 times now lens, but I think maybe if it's the right person, it's not an impossibility that I would live with or marry somebody again. But I also think successful
Yeah.
relationships, if you are connected by the hip 24/7, at least for me, I don't think that's particularly healthy. Like
No.
I don't care if somebody I'm dating or even when I was married, you want to go out with your friends, go out with your friends. I have friends because you have shared experiences just together. You have a shared experience with a group of friends. You have experiences individually that you can come back and talk about and have things together that's funny that you experience and things that happen that are
Yeah.
funny. But oh God, you won't believe what so-and-so said when I was out with my girlfriends. Like that to me is healthy. So, I mean, if I could find that,
That's the only
I don't
way
think
my
I'd
wife and I
matter.
ever have any reason to talk to each other.
Right.
Like we have no past to talk
Right.
about. We were there she's heard
Right.
everything that happened in the 20 years before we met. So
Yeah,
it's
so you
only if
gotta have
I'm
some
hanging out with
material.
the guys or someone.
Yeah. But I mean, if I could find somebody that
today
understood that, I would maybe marry again. But like, if you're
Yeah.
gonna be up in my grill 24/7, and like, I don't want you going out with your girlfriends. Oh hell no! Like, I've got stuff I want to do.
No.
you know?
Yeah.
So
For me, when I said that about my wife going on girls' trips, like she knows this, it was always because one of two things. They wanted to go somewhere that I hadn't been and wanted to go to. Like
Mhm.
3 or 4 times they were like, "Oh, let's go to this state that Mike and Sarah haven't been to yet." And I was like,
You're
"No,
like,
no, no,
damn.
you're going there with me first.
Yeah.
Then you can do
Yeah.
whatever you want."
Yeah. like, I want to play.
Mike's
And-
recording setup has changed, but in the old
Yeah.
setup, you could see the map of the United States behind him
Yeah.
rather than the world map with
Ooh,
every state colored in where he'd been
Mhm.
by himself, where he'd been with his
That's so
wife, where he'd been with the kid, with
exciting.
his wife and son. There were like
Oh, I
3
love
different
that.
patterns on the
Yeah.
world on the
Yeah, I
US
want to
map.
travel. That would be lovely. But we'll see. I don't know.
I will also say to my answer about the getting married again, I think it also depends on the age. Like you guys, I know one of you
We're old and
mentioned.
decrepit. We need
No.
someone to change our diapers.
No. I was going to say one
I
of
need
you
a
mentioned
20-year-old to change my
one
diapers.
of you mentioned being in your later years, but you guys could live another 45
Well,
years.
yeah, I mean, I'm not
Fuck
dead
you,
Yeah.
yet. You know, like I'm.
but that means that you have a 45-year commitment potential.
Yeah.
But if I was
Mhm.
like 75, 80 and I like all of a sudden was single and met a lady at the
Yeah.
retirement home, I think it would be like a less difficult decision to be like, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
marry you.
Why not?
Because
I got
we're,
a couple good
How
years.
long
playing
is it
in
going to
the
mahjong,
last?
mahjong together or whatever
Yeah.
we do. Like old people
I mean, I'm
do.
56. If you kick my tires, there's still some tread left. You know, I'm not totally
Yeah.
dead yet. But it's weird though, because like I have like kind of jumping back to the online dating thing. I have friends in every decade, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and they have all tried online dating, and every one of them is like, "Don't do it; it's a shit show." So it's not even my age. I think it's just the online scene right now is not really what it used to be even a decade ago, where you could kind of, you know, you always had some people that were a little off, you know, whatever. That's just the pool of people in our world. But there was still some normalcy in communication and dating. And it feels like now, a decade later, everyone I know is like, ugh, I just got off the sites because it's just ridiculous, you know? So
Speaking
don't
of
know.
perfect relationships, my wife's car just pulled in the driveway. I just saw her pull in. She's home.
I saw some
She was
butterflies
off
fly around your
protesting
head
down at downtown Raleigh.
because she's a good
She's
woman.
back from the protest.
I like it.
Nice.
You don't know. So here I am. Anyone?
So if you're in the Raleigh area and you want to date Lisa,
If you know how to kiss,
And now
And you
there's
know,
a number
yeah,
that's going to
a
go
topic of
across
conversation besides curly hair.
call 1-800.
Is
No
your
pet
name
the
not
petters allowed.
Patrick?
yeah.
Like, no. Yeah, I can't even
No,
remember
no
the petter's
gadget
name.
groping.
No.
I don't know. Just, you know, if that much to ask to meet a nice boy that wants to do some things, go to a concert, have a drink, you know. I don't know.
I just want
So
to
the
meet
reason
a
I never
boy.
liked Lisa's husband when they were married, and this was pre-children, or pre-her
Aye.
children, was that he never came to any of our comedy shows. We did a weekly show, and I don't think I saw him at a
Yeah.
single one of them. And I'm like, who doesn't go to their wife's comedy show?
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like initially
That
I
was a
told
bad
him not
sign.
to because I wanted to get my sea legs because I was really nervous. But then I don't. Maybe because he was with the kids, and I rarely defend him.
kids?
But oh, that's right. I didn't have kids then. It's a blur. You just said that.
When I did
I don't
stand up one time as an adult, and my girlfriend refused to go with me because it was like an open mic night. She's like, I don't
Yeah.
want secondhand embarrassment. And her,
Oh, what is
her
that
parents
term?
came.
I keep hearing that.
Her parents came and they like recorded it for me, and they were like, "You were awesome." And we got home, and she's like, "I'm." But now I realize now because she broke up with me 6 months later, I knew that was already in the works. But like,
Rude.
but yeah, there's it's not a great sign when they won't
Yeah.
show up for you.
I don't know. Honestly,
I mean,
maybe it
Monaby
was
eventually
better he
stopped
didn't
coming, but she
show.
came for 20 years before she
Yeah.
stopped coming
Yeah.
to shows.
Yeah, you're
I've
right.
heard
What the
all
hell?
the jokes.
I'm gonna call him up
It's
and be
improv,
like, "You
but-
didn't support me." Oh my gosh, I have to tell you this. I can't believe I didn't even somehow mention this. So speaking of my ex-husband, he married another woman named Lisa. Let's just let that sit for a minute. What really? You couldn't find any other name
Please don't look
out in
like
the
you
pool?
two.
in the shallow pool? What'd you say?
Please don't also look like you.
Um,
Does the new guy look
We-
like you too, and is named Lisa?
we don't look exactly alike, but my kids were like,
Okay, good.
personality wise, like, you know, she kids around and stuff. And so they're just like, yeah, it's weird. But, so that's interesting. So we're both Lisa, we're both Capricorns, and we're a year apart. I'm like, oh, for the love.
Oh boy.
This goes to I said this to Alex and Matthew a little bit before, but like, you know, that like if I was gonna find out that my wife was cheating, I would want it to be someone very different than me. Because then it's just like
100%.
me like if she was just like a doppelganger, like type wise for me, like, oh, she went with a, you know, heavy set white guy in his 40s, I'd be like, okay, so it's just me. But if she's like, I went for a black guy, I'd be like, okay, you wanted variety. You know?
Yeah,
if you're
I
gonna
find
do it,
that,
please have it be someone that is nothing like
I
me.
know. I find it kind of just like, I mean, obviously I find the humor in things. I mean, she's never done anything to me. She didn't break up my marriage. I'm not the kind of chick that's going to be a bitch to the new woman.
Yeah.
Like, what purpose does that serve? And, you know, just be good to my kids and whatever. So, you know, Godspeed. I'm not a troublemaker. I'm not looking to cause issues for them. But I'm like, really? Because there used to be this show on TV. It was the woman from Julia Louis, whatever, from Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And it was
her show, The New
Adventures of Old Christine. And I'm like,
Motherfucker,
am I old Lisa in this scenario? Are you kidding me?
That means you're Julia Louis Dreyfus, though, so that's pretty cool.
Good point.
It's pretty hip. And I can do the Elaine dance. You just can't see it, the full body. So, but yeah, so that was, that's just like that's just the universe going, little sister, you know? So,
yeah.
But you gotta laugh. What do we have if we don't have?
It sounds like you have a good
humor?
attitude, though, because like I know it.
Yeah.
Enough people that like would be like, you know, fuck the new person.
That's just stupid.
And I grew I am from a family where there's very little divorce, and my first real experience dealing with anybody else's divorce was my first girlfriend, the same one that wouldn't go to the comedy show. Her parents were divorced, and her stepfather and her father got along great, and her mother and her father got along pretty well. And I get it,
nice.
like divorce is a problem.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it had been 10 years or 15 years since they divorced. And so they had worked through it. And like you know, it's stressful in the moment, from everything I've ever heard. But like, that doesn't mean you have to like hate that person. And specifically, you know, like the new husband came along well after the fact. So it wasn't a breaking up the marriage situation. And so my first dynamic seeing divorced couple was this very healthy one. And now when I see non-healthy divorce couples where it's like, but like it set me up for like, well, divorce doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And which was really nice. But now like I see other people and they're like, well, fuck her. I'm like, haven't you been broken up with him for like 20 years? Like, why do you care?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So your attitude is very healthy from what I can see.
Well, I mean, I'm healthy towards her, but
sure,
I'm good if I never see him again ever again.
We do our next
but to your point, though,
co-parenting
like
in your 50s, the stories will be different.
Co-parenting.
Normal relationships, though, like you get divorced, and divorce sucks and it's hard, and the worst of people come out, you know, often, and you might kerfuffle for a while, but then in theory it should settle. But it only settles when the person doesn't keep misbehaving for, I don't know, let's just say Matthew, a decade. So I wish I do wish I had a better relationship with my ex, but I mean we can be in the same room and be civil because I'm not playing that game like in front of my kids. I'm not going to be phony, but I'm not a fan of misbehaving in front of your children at any age because it's not their divorce, it was yours. So but I have to say I wish I could say I'm that. We all hang out and we're perfectly fine, but
I don't know that that's the only like healthy way of looking at it. But like the fact that you can be in the same room is great. Like I know people. I know someone who they eloped because their parents couldn't be in the same room together so they couldn't throw a wedding for themselves.
I prefer my parents not be in the same room together. But I think.
But I mean, like the fact that you can be with your ex is in the same room with your ex will be good for your children in that way too. Like they don't have to pick or deal with it.
Which isn't to say we didn't have any, icky situations. But I mean, especially at this point, like what purpose does it serve to be ugly, especially in front of your, like, I just don't need that
Agreed.
in my life. I'm tired of it. I was tired of it coming at me, and I just, no, I'm good. But yeah, it's an interesting time, the 50s. I don't know. It really kind of, I'm like trying to accept that my next decade is 60. Like, what? Because in your head, you're still just you, right?
60s
I'm
were
just
a
like
cool
21
time.
and I want to just go like hang with my friends and have like no responsibility, you know? And I'm like, oh. And I'm not
Yeah, it's tough when
greedy.
your
Like,
kids
if I
are
could go
older than
back to
you.
like 47, maybe, that was a pretty good year, you know? Like, before some shit hit the fan hardcore, you know, I don't need to be like 23, but, you know, I don't think it's a lot to ask you to just like give me a decade back, you know?
You-
Not greedy, but
I like my 40s, and I would be happy with them if it were for two things. My back hurts all the time, and every time I
yes.
stand up, I get dizzy. If I can get rid of those two things,
Yeah.
perfect time of life.
Yeah. I'm with you on the back issues, because I am the don't have me as a passenger in your vehicle. I've been in so many car accidents, 3 of which were very bad accidents, and I'm always the passenger. People are trying to kill me, man. I just know it.
I think
That's a whole
maybe
other
you should stop
podcast.
giving Roadhead.
What'd you say? Stop what?
You should
That's a true
stop giving
crime.
Roadhead.
Oh,
You know, I didn't really consider that.
Yeah.
I have a lot to
Those
talk about
accidents
tonight.
usually don't end very well.
I know.
yeah, those don't usually end
Not
really
for-
well.
not
and
for
they
the
tend
woman.
to try to pat your head.
Oh no! Yes. Oh. God, Pat the
So,
Petter.
hey, Mike, I have a
where are
question
you
for you
tonight,
from the
Pat the
past.
Petter? Where are you?
Mike boy.
You were at how many of my birthday parties were you at, Mike? Before
I think-
COVID ended them?
Like two or three.
So that would mean you and Lisa probably met each other, because she was
Oh.
at some of my birthday party. Because I have like 50, 51, and 52 are the only ones, you know, the adult parties I had. Like, I started having them at my 50th, and then COVID happened, and Lisa was at least one of them. So,
and then there was the Halloween.
if you were at the one, Mike, where I had the giant cutout of David Hasselhoff right
David
at the entrance, and
Hasselhoff.
people were taking pictures with it.
I think I was at that one.
Lisa
That
was
Halloween
at that
party?
one as a sexy witch.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I have the best picture with David. I'm cozying up to him. Where are you, David? Maybe I was just meant to be with the Hoff. I don't know. Although, how old is the Hoff now?
So you
Is he
guys-
like in his 70s?
He's got to be
87.
70.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's another thing about this dating. I hate to say it, but in my experience lately, men my
73.
age want to date
73.
younger. They're looking for
Ugh.
younger. And I'm like, come
That is
on
just
now. Like,
gross.
but I mean,
Well, it depends on how young, Alex. Before it
yeah, I
gets
mean,
gross.
they're not necessarily all looking for
Like-
like 20-something years, although I do know a couple people that.
Well,
that
no,
are keeping in
but
the
even
very
trying
young
for
pool.
30 or 40,
I'm like,
yeah,
come
even trying for
on.
half your age is
Plus
a
7,
very
half plus 7.
specific.
So like the
It's a
pool
very
is
specific
tiny.
kind of person you're looking for. and
Yeah.
It's,
Thank you.
I've never dated
'Cause
anyone that was
I just-
like a
I
year
don't get
younger
it.
than me. Even like everyone I've dated was like 6 months younger than me, or, you know, or within 6 months. Like Madhavi's 5 months younger than me,
Right.
and that's like the
Yeah.
normal for the girls I
Right.
dated.
Well,
I
so
dated
you know,
one person who was 6 months younger than Sarah, and that's the youngest I've
That's
dated.
it?
And Sarah's 4 years younger than me, so 4.5 years difference.
that's
Is, I mean, but I was 24.
And you were 16 at the time.
I was 24 and she was 19. So it was like a fairly big difference. And that was when I was like, okay, nobody under 21 ever again.
Yeah.
And then
So, like,
by
when
the time
you're
I met Sarah, she
younger-
was 22.
and you're dating somebody younger, then you're creepy pedophile person. And when you're older, you're dating somebody younger, then you're just kind of creepy old.
You can still be creepy pedophile.
Yeah,
Just
so
that's
there's like
retro.
in the
pedophile.
middle, like if there's
Or-
a big age difference on either end, it's problematic. In the middle, an age difference isn't as
Yeah.
significant.
Like
You're
5
kind of in
years
the
is
same
nothing now.
stage of
Oh,
life. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like 5 years
younger
when
than you is
you're, you know,
nothing now. That's
15
the
to-
same age.
15
when
to
you're
21,
20, 5
ew.
years younger than you
Oh,
is
yeah.
a crime.
Yeah.
My,
But, like,
my
so
wife
if the
has
guys
said
my age
several
want a
times, I wish I
decade
knew you were in
younger.
high school. And I'm like,
You're like,
if you'd
do
known
you?
me in high school, you'd have
Yeah.
been 14 and I'd have been
Yeah.
18. And that would have been
Yeah.
fucking
Creepy.
creepy.
I know.
But when we met at
So,
22
yeah,
and 26, not that creepy.
Yeah. So yeah, the creepy factor exists
and
in
also,
extremes.
well, yeah, and also I told my wife I would not have respected the time and the effort that you were giving me if I was in my 20s or 30s. So getting married
Yeah.
late 30s, almost 40 was ideal because I had not matured to the point that I could give someone that kind of reciprocation. Whereas when I was younger, it was much more self-serving, and it wouldn't. I wouldn't have been able to give her the right time of day. Seriously, and it would have
Yeah.
been a bad situation for both of us. So she doesn't. She's probably been a little more mature for longer than me, and I'm man enough to admit it. I would hope that you can meet someone that's close to your age, but that
Love stories.
that isn't a fuddy-duddy, that isn't stagnant, that wants to go out and do things, but also has the experience to talk
Yeah.
about.
See, and I'm glad you said the fuddy-duddy thing, because it's like not everybody that's older is a fuddy-duddy, but like if men my age
Yeah.
are dating, easily a decade younger, not all of them, but some of them, then women my age, so I'm 56, so I'm going up to like 66. Well, like, okay, I know I'm 56, somebody in their early 60s, that's not so far out of my range. But look at the age and stage. I'm still pretty go-go. I'm working still.
Yeah.
I still have one kid at home. I'm still helping the other one launch. Like, you're not in the same stage even. And honestly,
Yeah.
my
It's
Are you
parents
looking at?
are youthful. So these guys look like
Are
my
you
dad.
looking-
It's like I'm dating my dad.
Are you looking at men that are your age and older because that's your preference, or that's what you think you can do?
I'm not even really
Because
You
looking at
16-year-old,
anybody.
Lisa. You need a
honestly.
16-year-old.
No, but
I
I'm
do
saying
not.
like mid to late 40s guys. I think there's a fair amount of mid to late 40s guys who would date a 50-something-year-old
Absolutely.
out of like,
And I've
especially
heard-
Because
like
all
the
the
last.
50-something guys are
Yeah.
dating the women their age.
Well, also like I mean, you.
Oh my gosh, all my
I think you
texts keep
said
buzzing.
something about being 56. You said something about being 56, or
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah.
When I look, like I think that what's happened in the last 100 years is that age has not been the same thing. So, like my grandfather, I looked at pictures of him recently where he was 50, because I'm not that far off. That was when I was born. He was 50, and I'm like, he looks so much older than my dad, who's 65.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm
or
sorry about the
67,
buzzing. Jeez,
and so like if you're a 50, you're mid 50s, and guys in their 40s aren't going to be looking at you like, oh, you're an old lady. They're going to be looking, like they would have to, like, think about the Golden Girls were all like 50. Like,
It's
but you
funny
don't
you
look like a
say
Golden
that,
Girl,
because just the other day somebody showed me, who was that? This is me in my 50s. I don't remember. A picture of Betty White at 50 and Jennifer Aniston at 50. And so very vastly different. And even if they switched the hairstyles, because the hairstyles were shorter, older looking. And even if you switched the hairstyles, she still just looked older, because people just maybe take better care of themselves now. Maybe there's more face cream out there. Who the hell knows? But the only thing with, because I've had friends say, well, you're go-go, go a decade younger. But then you're still not really in the age and stage, because, my kids are 24 and almost 21. I'm in a totally different stage, whereas people kind of mid 40s, they sometimes can have younger teens. You could have a decade of parenting left. And so again, right person, I probably would throw, I'll get married. I'll help raise your kids, if it's the right person. But, sometimes I'm like, do I have another decade of really raising kids in me? I don't know. And I'm the kind of person, if I was with somebody with children, I would be involved. It's not like, they're your problem. If you're going to date somebody with children, you're going to
you'd be the problem.
be part of that. You know what I mean? Would you say you'd be the problem?
Yeah. Just to add one last thought, though, on the age thing for a second, because you said 56, so I'm just latching on to that.
She's
even
a
if that's
large
not the
Taylor
exact
fan,
number. I was watching the new Jennifer Lopez rom-com last night. Jennifer Lopez is 56, and she looks
fabulous.
the same as when she, the idea of, I think that 56 or 55, mid 50s, 40 years ago was just such a wildly different thing. And I think
not the same.
now, as far as the guys in their 40s having teenagers still, that's a possibility. And this is maybe a sexist double standard, but dating a guy with a teenager as opposed to dating a woman with a teenager is a different level of commitment.
Even though it shouldn't be, but it kind of is.
It's
Yeah. It's just kind of like, and will they have the freedom to move about the cabin? Because any guy that I was with who's a parent, I would want them to be invested in their kids, so we're not missing Sally's, rugby game, because Sally's can pay for rugby. because I want to go on a vacation. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to be with anybody that wasn't involved in their children and was okay with missing all that. Ugh, missing all those things. So it would be like, okay, I'm ready to like go and do. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an interesting time to be out and about.
It is.
But again, if anybody remembers anything I've said, not man bashing. There's plenty of very lovely men out there, I'm sure.
Just
I'm just
individual
not meeting them. There's
Yeah.
I think crazies come in all shapes, sizes, and genders. So
Yep.
it is what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oy, on
All
that
right,
note,
Matthew, should we start to wrap things up then?
Yeah, well, like Mike said earlier, if you're watching our videos, it would be great if you would like the video, if you would comment on the video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to build it up. So the more you can subscribe to it, go back and watch some older videos, the more you'll be helping us out.
Yeah. And if for some reason that's not enough for you and you want to do more, you can
Probably
always.
isn't. You probably do want more.
You do.
Tell me, how can I do more, Mike?
You can go to patreon.com/talking about the big stuff, where you'll find 4 options: a free option, which just lets you get the updates; a $1 option, which gets you some early access; a $3 option, which gets you extra content; and a $10 version, which gets you the beginning of the show shenanigans. So,
but $10, that's like 30 to 31 days in a month. That would be $310.
Oh, but no, it's $10 a month. So it's roughly $2.50 an episode.
So no matter how much content we put out in a month, you still play the low price of one for $10?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah.
For less than an overpriced cocktail, you can have all this.
Yeah. For one large drink at Starbucks.
For the price of keeping a child alive in sub-Saharan Africa, you can have our podcast.
You can help keep our children alive. Thank you, Lisa, for coming on. It was really nice to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. It was so lovely.
I'm sorry that we laughed at your discomfort. Matthew is an opportunist in that way. But your stories were fun to hear for us.
The stories weren't fun, but the delivery was.
Yeah.
If I have any other groping stories, I'll call you right away.
If you run into Pat, just let us know.
I know.
So.
Thank you, guys.
Right,
I enjoyed meeting you. And maybe re-meeting you, Mike. I don't even know. I'll meet you next to David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Matthew, do you have any
Matthew,
last
you need to
thoughts?
have another party.
Say thank you. Thank you if I don't have a house again. Thanks, everyone who made it this far in to listen to us and to talk about the big stuff. Finally, some people without commitment issues.